If you read the ingredients label on your expensive anti-aging cream or your daily vitamin supplement, you probably won't find Indian chili powder listed anywhere, yet those products often rely entirely on it. The modern spice trade has figured out how to extract the exact compounds they need, creating a multi-billion-dollar invisible ingredient industry. This high-tech extraction process sits in stark contrast to where these crops actually originate. Across India, a vast network of 6 million smallholder farming families still cultivate, harvest, and dry these raw materials entirely by hand. Historically, the entire supply chain reflected that raw agrarian scale. You'd go to the local market and buy unbranded, loose seeds and powders, scooped directly out of giant open-air sacks. This chart tracks the industry's growth trajectory. The Spices Board of India has set a target to reach $10 billion in total exports by 2030. Reaching that number is physically impossible if they rely strictly on shipping raw, whole seeds. To reach that $26 billion valuation, the industry realized it had to move past the sale of raw seeds and prioritize the production of high-value physical derivatives. The first major shift happened right at home. Those loose, open-air sacks are being replaced by branded, tamper-proof retail packaging lining modern supermarket aisles. Consumers started prioritizing strict hygiene standards following the pandemic. At the same time, fast-paced urban families began running into a severe time deficit. People simply lack the hours required to roast and grind whole cumin or coriander on a Sunday afternoon. That lack of time is driving a massive spike in demand for ready-made blended powders, like pre-mixed biryani masala. This pie chart illustrates exactly how fast consumer habits are changing. Zoff Foods, a major domestic brand, now gets 65% of its entire online volume strictly through 10-minute grocery delivery apps. As the urban market prioritizes extreme convenience, domestic supply chains are pivoting toward digital distribution, displacing the unbranded bulk seed in major cities. The second stage of physical refinement targets the global market. Instead of shipping bulk powders, producers are distilling crops down into oleoresins, highly concentrated liquid extracts required for global cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. Think of it like distilling crude oil into high-octane jet fuel. By reducing raw crops into pure chemical concentrates, these high-margin derivatives earned nearly $940 million in a single fiscal year. Pharmaceutical and cosmetic manufacturers operate with zero tolerance for variance. They cannot risk dropping raw, agrarian plant matter into a premium global product with absolute precision. Competing in that highly profitable global sector requires leaving the whole culinary seed behind. Success now depends entirely on extracting and exporting a plant's purified molecular essence. This map shows the supply lines that triggered a massive regulatory crisis. Hong Kong and Singapore initiated sweeping product recalls after detecting unsafe levels of ethylene oxide, a cheap chemical sterilizer. The fallout was immediate, threatening to block nearly 40% of total export volumes. Exporters were forced to rapidly abandon cheap gas treatments and install high-tech steam sterilization units. At the same time, large corporate players began acquiring natural bioproduct firms to secure a firm foothold in the highly lucrative clean-label organic space. By forcing out outdated chemical farming practices, strict global regulations pushed the entire supply chain to adopt the precision and safety standards of a modern technology ecosystem. Today, the Indian spice trade utilizes the digital protocols and sterile environments found in modern pharmaceutical manufacturing. Through continuous corporate acquisitions, this ecosystem manages to successfully bridge the massive gap between millions of rural manual laborers and the world's strictest quality regulators. That infrastructure continuously moves millions of tons of refined product through heavy ports and directly into global distribution networks. And all of that heavy machinery is ultimately driven by the screen in your pocket. The next time you tap a 10-minute grocery app to buy a small packet of biryani masala, you are directly interacting with a 12 million metric ton agrarian supply chain. Which leaves you with a strange thought. Once an ancient raw seed is perfectly distilled into an invisible liquid extract for health and beauty products, at what point does it actually stop being a culinary ingredient?